not official and it's up to the medical staff, but Christian seemed confident that Sunday will be the day for him. What, if he does play, what would you expect from him after such a long time off in his first?
Yeah, you kind of got to temper your expectations, whenever he gets back, and just kind of ease him into it. It's been a while since he's played in a real football game, so. But I'm excited for him. I'm excited. He brings a lot to our offense as far as just his size and speed and everything like that, his leadership on the field, and, all the things that don't end up on the stat sheet. He really adds a lot to our offense.
What does a old, washed-up offensive lineman who played in 06 and 07 against the freaking guy that's still playing quarterback for the opponent this week think of that?
Yeah. It's amazing, just being around him, my time, coaching here, well, playing and coaching. He's just a special person, special player, just a Hall of Fame type guy, and you're not around those people a lot, throughout your career. So I definitely enjoyed my time being around Aaron, and everything I learned from him was super invaluable for me in my coaching career. And I'm excited to see him, and just the success that he's had. Every time I see him, I just got a smile on my face because I'm just so happy for him, and just what he's doing.
What do you remember of the time when he was playing? I mean, he wasn't the starter yet, right? Mm-hmm. But you were with him for those two summers and whatever. And then what was it like? How much did he mean?
Yeah, like when I was playing, he was obviously the backup for Brett. So just how much he loved football and just being around the guys in the locker room. He was always in there with everybody and just always had a smile on his face, always playing backgammon, just always being around the guys. So that's one thing I'll always remember, just like how his personality and how much he loved being in the locker room, being with the guys. And then on the field, you saw him throw and you're like, oh my God, this guy's special. Whenever he got his opportunity, you knew he was going to become a really good player.
Matt mentioned the COVID calls that you got. I mean, I think it would have been Hackett, not you, but like when you guys were trying to put together the offense and blend in what he liked to do. What was that process like?
It was really cool, actually. Because we had our foundation and the system that we knew, and then just learning the stuff that he liked, and it was kind of an ongoing process that took a year, maybe even a little more. So you kind of saw like in 2020 and 2021, like the offense really came to life for what it became, which was really cool. But that was a really cool learning experience where just kind of figuring it out together.
What was the change that got Tucker so much more involved down the stretch last week?
I think just part of it's just being in the right place at the right time, depending on what coverages they were playing, where he became the focal point. Then at other times, you have your plays that you want to feature him. So it was a combination of both those things where, let's try and get him a ball here, and it worked out. And then other times it was like, let's run a play, and they, played a coverage that made him the number one read, and he went and made plays, and that's what he does.
What makes Josh, what separates him once he gets into the red zone? Like he was talking earlier today about how sometimes he gets in a flow state when he's in that part of the field, just from what you've seen,
he's one of the most relentless runners I've ever seen, especially when he's down in the red zone. And he had 2 runs at the end of the game where he just willed the ball, got us a 7-yard gain and then another like 8 or 9 yard gain. And it was incredible, just the plays that he made right there. And then obviously the last play where he scored the touchdown. It's just his mindset and his relentless effort to get in, I think is special.
We can see the stats that Pittsburgh front puts up. What's the challenge in trying to game plan for how to handle that group?
They obviously got T.J. Watt, and he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. But they're really good across the board. I think their interior guys, I don't know, Cam Hayward obviously gets a lot of pub, but the other guys I think are really good too. And then you have Herbig and Highsmith on the other side. So it challenges across the board with just everyone they have in their pass rush. And then again, they're an aggressive defense. They're going to get in your face. They're going to challenge you. They're going to play man coverage. They have Jalen Ramsey and Porter, some really good DBs that are going to go up there and really challenge you and force you to beat them. So a lot of times if you don't do a good job blocking up front, they're going to get home before the receivers get open. So it's going to be a big challenge for us to just, win our one-on-one matchups, whether that's blocking or down the field. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
So what'd you think of J-Mo? And I mean, you went with him the whole way, so you must feel pretty good about what he said.
Yeah, we kind of just, again, wanted to see what he had and, how he's going to play. There was ups and downs for sure. But with that, I think it's, every week's just going to be a weekly deal with J-Mo and Sean Ryan and the other guys. The good news is we have a lot of guys that have played, whether that's DK, Belton, like all those guys I feel comfortable putting in a game right now. So, yeah, it's a good problem to have right now. So it provides for a lot of competition during the week, which I like.
Is it a competition? I mean, I know everything's a competition, but with the guys after Tuck, is that like a full? Have things separated there at all, or is it kind of a? What do you kind of
separated as far as what?
Well, it looked like you played Fitzpatrick a fair amount for
Yeah.
those weeks that Ben's up, and I don't know where Luke is at in terms of your expectations for him. So.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of different players, so it just depends on what you're doing in the game. But yeah, I think both those guys have different skill sets, so it's just depending on what you're trying to do for the most part.